Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Rhee the Explorer and this is my YouTube channel. You're very welcome and I'm happy that you're joining me today. Today I want to address a topic which have been asked very often, I think by my young audience, or some parts, some people, some of my subscribers have asked me to talk about birth control and contraceptive methods, because I think this is it's very confusing. There are so many methods and it's very confusing to know which one is the best available option for you. It can really be confusing to figure out which one is the right one for you. But don't worry, I have got you covered, and we'll go through all those birth control methods, their pros and cons, and even bust some myths along the way. So grab your coffee or tea and sit back and let's get started. Now, I'm just referring to my notes. When I look away outside of the video, don't worry, I'm just referring to my notes so I don't forget anything or I don't leave anything out. Now, I would like to start with number one, hormonal methods. Now, hormonal methods, as the word goes, hormones, these are contraceptives or birth control methods which have hormones in them. And the hormones work by altering hormone levels to prevent ovulation. You know, ovulation in a woman's body is a balancing game. It's a game of balancing hormones. You know, there are times when certain hormones are low, and there are times when certain hormones are up and others are low, and all these up and lows determine when one has ovulation. So hormonal methods interfere with that system of hormones, certain hormone levels going up and down. And so they alter that pattern of hormonal action to prevent ovulation. And so hormonal methods are really altering hormones in order to prevent ovulation. And I want to give you some examples of hormonal birth control methods. The most common is a birth control pill, the pill. You know, many people know it as the pill. They are taken daily to prevent ovulation. So you take the hormones daily. Each day you're taking one pill to prevent ovulation. And they are really highly effective. They can regulate periods and even reduce acne. You know, there are some people who suffer from skin eruptions, acne, and that can prevent. So the pros about using hormonal pills or birth control pills are that they are highly effective in preventing pregnancy or in preventing ovulation, and then they regulate periods such that if you have usually very, very heavy periods, these pills can minimize the amount of bleeding that you have. They may even reduce the painful periods, and they reduce appearance of acne on your face. And so what I mean is that people always think that hormones or the pills, they have hormones, and so they will cause heavy bleeding and everything. Of course, I'm not ruling out that the pills, even though they have a lot of advantages, they may act differently in different bodies. But what I'm telling you is just the general knowledge based on based on the evidence available regarding them. So they regulate periods. If you have heavy and irregular periods, they will regulate. They will They are very effective if you take them correctly and daily, and they prevent ovulation. But they have some downsides, and the downsides include the the hormonal pills. They must be taken consistently and may cause nausea and mood changes. So you have to take them consistently every day. And preferably, if you take them in the morning, take them in the morning. If you take them in the evening, take them in the evening. If you could take them today in the morning, tomorrow in the evening, and so, or you take them today and tomorrow you don't take, they may not be effective. So they are only very effective if you take them consistently, like around the same time and every day. They may affect your mood. You may be moody sometimes, in a bad mood, of course, because they are acting on hormones, and hormones regulate a lot of things. It's not only about ovulation in the body, and so they may affect your moods in such a way that you may sometimes have bad moods here and there, um, and they may cause nausea. Nausea is that feeling of vomiting, and so if you have nausea, like you sometimes feel like vomiting, sometimes that is even helpful because it helps regulate the amount of food you eat. Therefore, you don't gain so much weight. So they have other benefits, even though that's a negative, it can be a positive in some people. So there is also a patch, other than a pill, there are also some patches, like just a small thing, a small patch you can put somewhere on your skin, and then it releases hormones slowly into your body. Those are called birth control patches, which release some hormones through your skin to prevent ovulation. And patches are usually easy to apply. You just put somewhere on your skin, and that's it. And these ones can be replaced every week. But some of those may cause skin irritations, or they could also be they could be less effective for certain people, especially if someone is extremely overweight. They may not work, and of course, it may also depend on how sweaty your skin is, how spotty you are. They may fall off without your knowledge, and so this the effectiveness is not as high as other methods, but it's just an option that is available for you to know. There's another hormonal contraceptive, is the birth control shot or injection. Most of you know it as Depo-Provera. This is an injection which you get every 3 months. It has some advantages. There's no daily dosage that you will need to take. You get a jab every 3 months, and it's very, very effective because it's really in your blood. You get injected, it's in your blood. It controls ovulation, it controls pregnancy, the 3 months, but you have to keep repeating that every 3 months. There are some problems with this injection, Depo-Provera. It may cause weight gain and may cause period irregularities. So it may cause weight gain. In my practice as a nurse, I've seen so many people who gained weight, a lot of weight, and some gained irreversible weight because of getting this injection. This injection can cause irregular periods. In many cases, you will not see your periods for the entire 3 months, or even 3 months after the elapse of the injection. So let's say you got the injection In those 3 months, you may not see your period, and it may even extend up to like 6 months. So for a whole 6 months, you may not see your period, or you may experience irregular periods. Sometimes you may have them, sometimes not. You may also miss completely to see the periods for the entire 3 months or even 6 months. And I've seen some people who for 9 good months they did not see their period after stopping the injection. And I have to say this, especially for young people, this may be a very effective birth control method, Depo-Provera injection. Me personally, and please do not crucify me personally, I don't recommend this method to young people. Why? Because I have friends, I have seen in my practice as a nurse, I have seen people who completely lost their fertility because I cannot say because of the injection, because I did not do an experiment, I didn't do a randomized controlled trial to establish that indeed the injection caused infertility. But based on anecdotes, based on experiences, based on just what I have seen, I would rather say the evidence is not clear about the injection. I would rather tell young people to keep off the injection. In fact, I do not understand why in Africa people still use Depo-Provera. In developed countries like here, where I am, here in Switzerland, there is not such a thing like Depo-Provera. Why is it not on the market here? Yet it's on the market in Africa. So please keep off. If you are a young person, keep off the injection. I am sorry to say that it's not based on any evidence, but it's based on experience, based on what I've seen in my many years of practice. Young people, keep off Depo-Provera. And so, because you may lose all your fertility. In some people, I also know people who have used this injection, Depo-Provera, but after stopping, their fertility returned, their periods returned, and they were able to have kids. And if you're planning to have children, you're a young person, there are many other options you can use other than the injection, so don't go for the injection. I risk my reputation by saying that, but I want to tell that to the people I love. Still on the hormonal methods, we have hormonal IUD, intrauterine device. You know, intrauterine device is something, I will show you a picture, but it's, we have two different ones. We have one that has just copper, it has copper, it doesn't have any hormones. And then we have one that has hormones. So it's a small T-shaped device placed in the uterus. It's placed in the uterus. I have done that myself, and I can assure you that it's really not painful. It's a little bit uncomfortable, to open up your private areas and to push it inside, but you feel some discomfort, but it's not painful. So this one is put up high in the uterus, and it forms, if you know the anatomy of the uterus, this copper sits somewhere at the fundus of the uterus, and it forms like a T, a letter T, and that's how it mechanically prevents pregnancy. So it's acting mechanically by preventing the flow of sperm and egg to develop a pregnancy, but it's so because it also has hormones, it prevents ovulation through the hormones, and so you don't get pregnant with that. I would say it has many advantages because, so we are talking of the IUD, intrauterine device with hormones. You know, you can get it for like anywhere between 3 to 7 years. I've seen others that go for even 10 years. So once it's placed high into your uterus, you can live with it. You don't feel it, you don't notice it for a long time, of a long time, or many years. 3 to 7 years, or even up to 10 years, you can have it in your uterus. It's highly effective because it has hormones and it's also acting mechanically to prevent pregnancy. You may have lighter periods with it, of course, because it has hormones. But I also know people who bleed a lot, who have heavy periods because of it, and one explanation is that because it's some kind of foreign body, it yeah the uterus, it causes some spasms, you know, like some contractions of the uterus during menstruation, and then you end up bleeding a lot more. But this may happen the first months, like the first month or the second month, and in the third month your body is used to it, and then you don't have any side effects. So this is something I would recommend, that is highly effective. Some of the cons or some of the disadvantages of it is that it requires medical insertion. You may have cramping during the first months, like the first month or up to the second or third month. You may have some cramps, you know, like the uterus tries to eject it, and so you have some contractions, some cramping, but these are really light cramping or light cramps, and then the body may get used to it after a while, and then you can live with it for as long as you wish. It requires medical insertion because you will need to go to the clinic and then have a medical personnel put it into your uterus. But it takes really very few minutes, and it's not painful, it's just a little bit uncomfortable. So about hormonal birth control, we have talked about the pill, the patch, the shot, you know, the injection, and the intrauterine device, IUD or IUCD. And we have seen the positives and negatives about those methods. And now I would like to address the barrier methods. You know, barrier, you know, like things, contraceptive or birth controls that form a barrier. And to what are they forming a barrier? You know that for a pregnancy to occur, you need the egg and the sperm to come together. And so the barrier methods are those that prevent either the sperm or, they prevent mainly the sperms from getting into the uterus and fertilizing the egg. And these are things that most of you might know. Male condoms, you know, which are worn by men. I don't think you need me to tell you like how they are worn, because I think nowadays with social media, you know exactly how they are done. During my time while I was studying, there was no social media and there were no phones, and so we relied on people showing us exactly, like demonstrating how each one works, and we had some wooden models of penises, and we could show people how to wear condoms. But nowadays that's not possible, that's not necessary, because you can see all those things. You can Google them, and they are all over social media and everywhere. So we have male condoms as barrier methods. Of course, one thing I have to say, the hormonal contraceptive methods do not protect you from acquiring diseases, and sometimes you may acquire very, very serious life-changing diseases like HIV, hepatitis C and B, and all types of hepatitis. You know, people are, and I know that in Africa, people are afraid of HIV, but there are other infections which you should equally be afraid of, especially hepatitis, hepatitis C, hepatitis B, hepatitis. There are many different types of hepatitis, but let's say hepatitis B and C. Um, you should be. Oh, what is transferred sexually is actually hepatitis C. You should be equally afraid of those things. Not really afraid, but it's not good to catch any kind of infection. And so hormonal methods are really not protecting you against acquiring any of those infections. You have to know that. Barrier methods prevent pregnancy. They don't prevent ovulation because they do not alter your hormonal action. They are just mechanical barriers to prevent sperms from getting to the egg. And so you prevent pregnancy, but you don't prevent diseases. Anyway, it's not important to get afraid of diseases because there are medications nowadays. You don't have to die of HIV and AIDS. You don't have to die of AIDS because there are medications that prevent anyone who has HIV to get to AIDS and to die of AIDS. So it's not something to be afraid of, but it's something to be aware of and prevent. Because anyway, once you get those infections, you will need to be on treatment your lifelong, and you'll have to have a lot of life restrictions, and it's just not good. So it's better to prevent them. So when you use hormonal contraceptive methods, be aware that they don't prevent you from acquiring diseases. When you use barrier methods like condoms, male condoms and female condoms, you are preventing sexually transmitted diseases, HIV, hepatitis, and all those things, gonorrhea and all those things, but you're also preventing pregnancy. And so male condoms, female condoms, there are also female condoms. Female condoms are a little bit difficult to wear or to position them correctly, but just to let you know that they are available. There are also diaphragms, some small little cups that are put into the woman's way. I don't want to say the name because on social media you never know who is watching. Maybe children are watching, but if you are a grown-up girl, you know where to put, like this cup, cervical cup or diaphragm. You put them high in there before you have sexual activity. The problem is that these are really challenging, especially the diaphragm and the female condom. They are really challenging to place or to position in the woman. But those ones protect you much more. And I have to say that because of the difficulty to use them, they can burst, they can be misplaced, they are not very highly effective in preventing pregnancy compared to the hormonal methods and other methods. And then we have long-term and permanent methods. Of course, if you're young, you don't go in for permanent methods. But if you have decided that you do not want to ever have children, then there are permanent methods like vasectomy for men, where they cut some sections of their vas deferens or to prevent them from making anyone pregnant. And then you have female sterilization, where it's called tubal ligation, where the tubes are tied such that there is no the egg does not travel to get to a place where it can be fertilized. Then there are some implants which are put in the arm, somewhere in the arm, somewhere like here under the arm. I have done that myself. I mean, I have done that to people, and I know it's a painless. It has some pain, of course, because you're breaking the skin, but you break the skin just slightly and push this tube inside. And these are really long term. They can last for as long as 5 years. Then you replace them only after that. And they're quite effective. And of course, sterilization, for female sterilization, is usually 100% male sterilization. I've heard instances where some men, even though they were sterilized, they were still able to make some women pregnant. So it's not 100% effective, but maybe 99% effective. Then there are other methods like the natural methods, natural and behavioral methods. So natural methods are like calendar methods. You know about calendar methods, where you observe you monitor your periods on the using a calendar. You may take your temperature early in the morning or something like that, to see whether you are ovulating, you are about to ovulate, or you're ovulating or not. And so but nowadays people track their cycles using mobile phones. There are so many mobile apps which track cycles, so you don't even need calendars. You don't need to do it the manual way, the way we used to do sometimes back. Nowadays it's easier. You use an app to monitor your cycle. And you're doing that because you want to define you want to avoid sexual contact around the time that you have ovulation in order to prevent pregnancy. And then there is also something called withdrawal method, where men withdraw themselves during a sexual contact, but this is really not effective, and there are high chances, more than 20% chances of becoming pregnant with this kind of way, withdrawal method. And most of these methods, like withdrawal method, is not woman determined, it's man determined. So it also depends on people's behavior and all that. So it's not something that I can really recommend, but it's just good for you to know. Then there are emergency contraceptives. They have the word emergency because they are only supposed to be used in emergency situations. There are many emergency pills out there. They call them morning after pills, or Plan B, or Ella. So morning after pills or emergency pills, they are really only necessary for in emergency situations. Let's say someone was raped, then emergency pills are good. Or let's say you forgot to take your pills and you had a sexual encounter. It's good to take an emergency pill. Or in other situations where you did not protect yourself and you are not ready to become pregnant, then emergency pills are good to take, but you have to take them within the first 72 hours. In fact, never wait until 72 hours. Take them as early as possible. Their effectiveness reduces as time goes, and effectiveness is zero after 72 hours. So you really need to think about them only in emergency situations. And they shouldn't be used. You shouldn't take them like birth control. they are so high on hormones. They have very, very, very high levels of hormones. And so if you take them regularly, they may completely affect your hormonal balance completely. And you may be in a mess, in a hormonal mess, but they may also not be effective in preventing any pregnancy. So emergency pills are not things that you should always carry with you to use. You may use them only in emergency situations. So they are really, really highly effective in preventing pregnancy if you use them within the first 72 hours. And then here also, what is also used as emergency contraception in some situations or in some countries or in some cases are the copper IUD, copper intrauterine devices. You know, they don't have the ones without hormones, they only have copper. And so people, they use them. Let's say you had unprotected sexual encounter, and then you go to a doctor, and then they put the copper T device in you that is mechanically going to prevent implantation if fertilization has happened. And then this becomes a debate in so many people. This can cause ethical debates. Me as a health person, me as a nurse, I'm here to give you all the information, and you need to take a decision based on your situation. And I'm not a practicing nurse, I'm not a practicing medical person. So take my information only as advice. Do not take it as medical advice. So you can do what you want, but some people use copper T intrauterine device or copper T IUD as emergency contraception to prevent implantation. And this causes some outcry among people who are pro-life because they say it's literally causing abortion. But copper T can also be used as a long-term contraceptive method without hormones. It'll just be in your uterus to mechanically prevent pregnancy. So if you're allergic or resistant to hormones, copper T is something that could be good for you as a long-term contraceptive method. Now, I have talked about all those methods that I know, and I would like to address some myths that are commonly talked about related to contraceptives. And some people say the pill makes you infertile. No, the pill rarely makes people infertile because as soon as you stop, fertility returns very fast. But there are some random cases where it is just difficult for fertility to return. So some people end up suffering a little, or some people end up with delayed fertility. But I mean, if you lead a healthy life, you exercise, you eat good nutrition, you detox once in a while, I think it's your body, your fertility can return as soon as you stop the pill. But let's talk about reality. In the world today, even in Switzerland where I live, there are so many people who struggle with infertility. So many people, unexplained fertility, unexplained infertility. Young people, old people, particularly young people, and there are many young people who also are going into menopause already at age 32, 35. In fact, here in Europe, in Switzerland, your when you are 35 years of age, it's really, really, really unlikely that you will suffer some kind of infertility. But this is also affecting men, so I cannot really say that it's because of the hormones, but there are there is some evidence, some anecdotal evidence that points to the hormones. So if you choose to use hormones, hormonal contraceptives, be aware that they may affect your fertility in some way or another. But I would rather use the pill, for example, compared to the injection. I would never advise anyone to use the injection, um, or any other, or choose any other long long acting method, a hormonal method, and just be sure that you get off those methods like a year before you plan to have your family, before you plan to have children. Don't get off the pill or other hormonal methods today and expect to be pregnant tomorrow. Plan it in such a way that you give yourself like a year, you get off the hormones, you give yourself like 1 year before trying to have a family or to make babies. But I'm not saying that it's always like that. Different people react differently to all these things. So bear in mind that everyone's situation can be different. So don't look at someone's situation and think that your situation will be the same. So just I give you information and use the information carefully. Think through, speak with your doctor before you make a decision which contraceptive methods you would like to use. Yeah, and so I don't know which other myths you've heard about contraceptives. Please, please, please go to the comment section. Write for me all the myths or misconceptions that you have heard about contraceptives. Ask any question and I will respond. And I'm also keen to hear or to learn about what do you think about all these methods and what I've said so far, what I've advised so far. I would love to hear your feedback, and please go to the comment section, write a comment, tell me your mind, tell me what you think, and also what you think about this topic. I will be doing a live session, so about this. It will be really recommendable for you to watch this video before coming to the live, because I'll be addressing all your questions during the live session. So please make sure you watch this video before coming to the live tomorrow. The live is scheduled at around 1 o'clock. So that's it for today. I hope this video helped you understand all about contraceptive methods. Remember that the best birth control method is the one that works for you. As I've said, the best is the one that works for you. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Drop a comment in the comment section with any questions or concerns that you may have. Let me know your views about today's video. And with that, I want to wish you a very, very, very happy evening, a good day, and just before I finish up, I want to show you, it's really, really rare to have a beautiful day like today. Now it's 5 o'clock. Usually it's very dark, but today we had sun, it's clear, we can still see the mountains. And I just want to show you quickly how it looks out there in the mountains. I hope we can see it. Do you see the mountains behind me? Oh, I don't know if you can see. Oh, I don't know. Ah, yes. The mountains are visible. Do you see the mountains? Some snow in the mountains. Okay, so bye bye, and I hope you learned something. Please do subscribe, it will help me a lot. And see you tomorrow in the live session. Bye.